Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about another really discouraging landmark in the politicization of the Department of Justice, this involving the biggest office of all U.S. attorneys' offices across the country, that's of District of Columbia. Has over 300 prosecutors. They do both the sort of state level crimes in DC and the federal crimes, a storied history, including handling basically all the 1,500 plus cases of the January 6 marauders. There has been installed in the last couple weeks an interim United States attorney who combines ignorance of the department with real hostility. His name is Ed Martin Jr., and he's been extremely heavy handed. And just for starters, he himself is an election denier. He raised money to try to defend the January 6 defendants. He advocated for their pardons. He's just the other side of justice. Trump has put him in, and he has been, as an interim, just everything horrible you might think. He has ordered up an investigation, hasn't said criminal or civil, of his office's response in the January 6th case to a Supreme Court opinion reversing someone's conviction. The office did what you do then. You try to salvage what prosecutions you can and respect the court's ruling scrupulously. They did all that. He he states it was a failure of the office, and he's ordered up an investigation. He apparently wants to convene a grand jury to look into, a grand jury that's criminal, to look into the Biden administration's spending on climate. He has done tweets that suggest he views the staff there as the president's lawyer, so they're serving the president and not the cause of justice. The most sort of fundamental derogation, misdescription of their job that exists. On the petty side, he has insisted the papers from his office call him U.S. attorney, not interim U.S. attorney, even though that has been his job. So a combination of sort of vanity and pettiness. And this is the person whom Trump has now rewarded, said has been doing a great job with the plum appointment nomination, which you have to imagine will go through to head up the whole office. The chief of the criminal division, that's the biggest division, oversees all the criminal practice, so a real leader of the staff in the office, has resigned. She did it in the sort of time tested, honorable way of not making a stink, but I think it's quite clear that she has done it in protest and not being able to stomach serving under him, even though it means these are really hard decisions, besides that they're great jobs and you can't necessarily just get another job out there. You're leaving your whole staff to the wolves, and the wolves, of course, are now from inside the office. But she has left. We may think, because it's happened recently, oh, that happens sometimes, and sometimes maybe, but it's a huge, that resignation in protest over the appointment of a new nominee is really a kind of deafening cry of protest within an office. Martin, on top of everything else, is a know-nothing. He's, I think, the first person in over 50 years to be in that position, in which Eric Holder, well, just very distinguished people on both sides of the aisle have served, who has no prosecutorial or judicial experience. He's a political operative from the Midwest, and really his identity is as an election denier and a defender of the January 6th defendants. So, on the one hand, You might think that there's only so much damage an individual U.S. attorney can do. There's a great career staff that operates through different U.S. attorneys, but it's one thing to operate through a U.S. attorney who's sort of a political appointee, but has to at least give lip service to the grand traditions of the Department of Justice without fear or favor. This is a different thing because he has the support, the strong support of Trump to undertake a mission that is, not simply unorthodox, but really a direct assault on the work of the office. These people who have completely busted their butts for years to bring the biggest prosecution in DOJ history, and a deeply serious crime that we all saw where marauders tried to steal the election and prevent the peaceful transfer of power. They are now, from having done it in this complete Alice in Wonderland world where Martin presumably is Humpty Dumpty probably, they're the miscreants, the regular staff who have not done as they were supposed to. It's crazy, of course. It's false. It's a total lie. But he's going to be atop the office and pursuing his very Trumpian agenda. That's going to be completely, it's going to mean a complete departure from the DNA, the marrow, as I've put it, of the Department of doing justice without fear or favor, and vindicating the false obsession of Donald Trump about January 6th. And again, the resignation in response of the chief of the criminal division, who has to be really pained at leaving everyone sort of in the lurch there. Nevertheless, cannot work for this guy. That tells you all you need to know. It tells you a lot, and it's all bad. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.